1995 with my family. I had 2 children at the time, and I was looking forward to settling down, raising my family here. We could have lived anywhere in the United States. We moved all over the United States and seen the whole country in the Marine Corps, but we wanted to live here. We had family here near the Columbine High School area, so that's where we moved to. And over the years that I was raising my family, we had my 3rd child, they would ask me hard questions, and I started to reflect on all the problems that faced our country that we hadn't solved. But I wasn't politically inclined at all at that point. In 2000, I retired from the Marine Reserves and started to get involved more in the community. The Columbine tragedy had a great effect on the direction of my life at that point. But in 2002, I saw when the Republicans took over the House, the Senate, and were already in the White House, and the policies they were trying to implement and the partisan way in which they were doing it, I saw that there was going to be a foreign policy disaster for our country and an economic disaster. And I think my worst fears were confirmed over the next few years. You know, at the end of the decade, the 90s, we had one of the biggest surpluses in our nation's history. We created millions of jobs. The Bush White House told us that with tax cuts, prosperity was guaranteed. Now, tax cuts don't guarantee prosperity, and they don't guarantee anything bad either. But I'm telling you, we didn't get, those tax cuts did not create prosperity. And so we went through and the rest of those years before the Bush White House, and what happened? The war in Iraq, we never should have gotten involved in. We should have concentrated on Afghanistan, and one of the worst recessions our nation's ever faced. That's got to change. So in 2002, I began to become involved in, I guess it's on that, involved in politics from the ground up, Jefferson County Democratic Party. And I want to stop there and mention I always have been a Democrat. You know, people ask me, how can you be a Marine and be a Democrat? I say after the last 10 years, how can you not be a Democrat if you are a Marine? I'm serious. You know, I think the common ground between all Americans, whether they're independents, Republicans, or Democrats, we all believe, all of us believe, there should be no limit on our individual ability to excel. And there should be no limit on our collective ability as a country to excel and be the greatest nation on earth. But Democrats believe there's a minimum. And the minimum is summed up best in the Second Bill of Rights that Roosevelt laid out. The right to a living wage, the right to housing, the right to health care and a doctor, the right to a good education, and the right to a dignified retirement. It's not an endless list, but this is the minimum that we believe in. And I've believed in that my whole life. And I was taught that by my parents, my mother and father that you saw in the video a few minutes ago. So with that said, going into what's happening this year in this election, I believe, first of all, that the priorities of people everywhere is, first of all, security, second of all, rights, and third, prosperity. And along those lines, this year, the election is about, first of all, the security issues, ending the wars responsibly. And I believe there's 3 wars going on right now. The war against extremism, it needs to continue, and it will continue. But the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan need to be wound down. We need to bring our troops home and take care of them once they get home. And I think we're making great strides along that direction. As far as prosperity goes, I believe that the biggest issue on people's minds this year, of course, is job creation and jobs. And I think to create jobs, as a congressperson, you have to worry about your own district and your own community. And if you vote that way and you act that way, you'll do what's best for the country. And I think that here in our own community, the way to create jobs is to invest. Well, first of all, I'll say that our economy runs on 3 things. It runs on energy, it runs on people, and it runs on trade. And we need to invest in all 3. First of all, investing in people. That means investing in their education. Here in Douglas County, we're taking $36 million out of our schools this next school year. And across the whole 6th district, we're taking over $80 million out of our schools. And that's the wrong way to go. Never mind our community colleges, which are so important to job creation. Our community college is Arapahoe Community College. And they have tried to expand and put a